final. It's Frank Murphy, former scrum half, assisted by Chris Busby and Adam Jones, with Ben Whitehouse on TMO duties. The stage all set. It was 20 points apiece when these two met all the way back in round 3. Very different teams that line up for this.
We're ready, Blair.
Very different reward as well.
Ready.
High stakes knockout rugby for the right to host Ulster. The 4th quarter final. What a game in prospect as the DHL Stormers take on Edinburgh in Cape Town.
Use it.
It's a safe claim.
No.
And Herschel Yankees look to make his first clearance. And a little shove from Ivan Ruas on Pierre Schoeman. The clearance is safe. Darren Cave alongside me. Darren, this really could be a fascinating game. It's two attack-minded sides.
Yeah, and the Stormers no messing around in that first exit. No, not one phase at all. Just get out the 22. Don't play any rugby too early. But we are in for a fascinating encounter. The Stormers are going to be hard to beat at home. Lost only 4 games this season, as you said before. Edinburgh will be looking to change that tonight.
David Cherry gets it on to Henry Pyrgos, and now breaking through almost was Damien Hoyland, who scored against Glasgow in the final round of the regular season. Many will remember the torrential conditions up in Durban when Edinburgh were victorious against the Sharks. That's a knock-on from Grant Gilchrist, pounced upon by Kitsoff, and now the Stormers might go from loose play. Pretorius, and now Manny Lebok, Warwick Gallant rather, JJ Kotze. Now here's the danger man, Leolin Zas, all the way up into the 22, the tournament's top scorer, showing exactly his prowess, his danger early on. Evan Ruas picks up now. Yankees. Lebok decides to swing it. There's an opening here for Diamani, but the offload goes to Kinghorn, and Gallant is able to crash over on the loose ball. Edinburgh try to go from deep through Kinghorn. Gallant was onto it, and just as he did in the Scottish capital in round 3, the fullback has scored here, and what a start for the Stormers.
Yes, electric stuff from the Stormers, wasn't it? Like the boys said leading into the game, this Stormers team, they're as dangerous from mistakes as they are from their own set piece. We saw it there, seeing the finishing touches. It looked like Kinghorn had got back and made the intercept. Gallant just jumps on that ball. What a start from the Stormers. But straight away, we've seen the danger of that back 3. Zas looking so strong. Daimani, he's been so prominent this season, made a lot of line breaks, scored a few tries. Nearly was a bit frivolous with that offload, but they got lucky, and what a start it is for the Stormers. Edinburgh are going to have to be far more careful in possession this evening, or else they're going to find it really, really hard. 1 turnover from Edinburgh, 1 try from the Stormers.
4 for the season for Warwick Gallant. There's Manny Lebok, who is the top scorer points-wise in the URC. Taking all the time he can before slotting that one right through the middle. It is the ideal start for the hosts, who go into a 7-0 lead in the opening 4 minutes. And we are in for a breathless 80, if this is to be a flavour of what's to come.
Yeah, just seeing that replay, it was Kinghorn initially who got caught just ball watching, the old adage.
Apologies.
And then it was a lovely line, it was a lovely pass actually as well from Lebok across the front. Daimani, that straight line.
Okay, put time on off the kick-off,
So it looks like
please.
an early injury for the Stormers.
Ulricus Pretorius went down injured after that early play, and of course That leads to a debut for Sacha Ngomezulu, because they are without Damien Willemse. He picked up an injury against the Scarlets. He's a big miss. They've gone for a 6-2 split on the bench, and already having to go to the 20-year-old Western Province player. He's a very exciting prospect coming into this side, but it is one that will disrupt things somewhat as Ngomezulu comes on for his debut. Now it's Chris Dean, as Edinburgh desperately look for a foothold in this game after that early setback, and Dave Cherry has the ball. Henry Pyrgos, such a good controller of possession and territory. Scrum half replacing the injured Ben Velikot. Now Kinghorn, this time he finds Emiliano Buffelli with the offload. Hoyland as well knocked back by Sinatla, and it's been stolen, but illegally so by Dion Furi.
Second chance.
Yeah, it was probably just a fair enough call. Hoyland stepped back infield off the left foot, and
2 goals and off.
What a tackle from Sinatla. It was a solid one, and Furi getting over the ball. Frank Murphy just saying that it was a contest and it was the second attempt at it. Edinburgh penalty, and just as you see there, Kinghorn playing fly half for the last season. Such a danger, that run threat. He shows and goes, and it's the offload over the top. Buffelli running that short line off his shoulder, and it's a pretty good kick to the corner in Edinburgh with their first opportunity.
I felt you had a window to get it. You missed and then went again.
First effort was legal, but going in the second time deemed illegal for Dion Furi. Set plays might well be the area for Edinburgh to target. Scrum and line out have been extremely strong for Mike Blair's side. The ball is out, and here it comes to Bradbury using some power of his own against Furi.
Ball backwards, play.
Does go backwards, rather fortunate there. This time it's Crosby that takes it further.
No.
Furi looking for the steal. Pyrgos and Co have a fight on for it. Kits off, goes over, but off his feet, and Edinburgh with a penalty in front of the post.
Yeah, it was a fair call.
It's fine, he's on his feet. Number 1 is off his feet, on his hands.
You can just hear referee Frank Murphy explaining himself. Again, it was Furi initially being a real menace at the breakdown, just really disrupted Edinburgh at the back.
That's 2 for hands on the ground. Let's stay up, please.
As Frank Murphy just warns them. And then it was Evan Roos that flew through, and then when Kishoff comes through, he's just trying to counter-ruck, he's trying to blast over, but he loses his feet. Here's the initial tackle. There's Furi in on the ball, making an absolute menace of himself, disrupting Henry Pyrgos' possession. And then you can just see it's Roos coming in, not using his hands, strong play, and there it is, Kishoff straight over the top. Referee's got that one right, and Edinburgh look like they're going to 7-3.
Buffelli, Edinburgh's top scorer this season. And pretty lethal with the boot, despite his first 2 misses that came against Glasgow last week, after 24 successful kicks in a row. But back on form, Edinburgh's first points of the night to reduce that deficit on the scoreboard and get Edinburgh ticking over. It's been a fiery start.
It has been, but a good response from Edinburgh. You're away from home and halfway across the world with a start like that, and that's exactly what you want. Just steady the ship and get yourself on the scoreboard.
Sinatla on the chase and times the hit really well on Buffelli. It's coming back on the Stormers' side as well. It's Yankees. It's quick ball for Kutsa. In goes Furi. He's been everywhere early on. And now Cherry has to give up his bind on the ball. Now it's Murat. Yankees to Libok. And now Ngomezulu. He's been held up. And then eventually
number 15.
Bradbury had to release. The high tackle came in from Buffelli. So Stormers playing with advantage.
15, high tackle. Wait.
That was a great kick-off from the Stormers. Wasn't it? Just so much hype. Sinatla with the chase.
15.
Very hard for Edinburgh to deal with. And here we'll just see the replay. Yeah. It's always hard when the players sort of, you know, bent at the hips and with a lower body height, but anywhere near the neck's going to be a penalty. Professional rugby players should know that. So a little soft from Buffelli. And the Stormers, interesting, going for the corner back in their maul.
2 meters back, please. 2 meters back.
Pops it perfectly onto the 5-meter line.
Thank you. Yes, 2 meters, Dave. Same, yes.
A few stolen on their own ball, but not this time.
Run it over.
Breaking through, half through goes Furi.
Stay.
Digging comes Evan Ruiz. What a season he has had. Pierre Schoeman desperate to try and get his hands on it. Now here comes Kitsoff, a very difficult man to stop from that kind of range, but Edinburgh have not only stopped him, they've turned it over. Bradbury, though, hanging on, and the penalty now does go the way of the Stormers.
Hold it on.
Really unfortunate for Edinburgh. It was a fabulous turnover on the side of the ruck. We'll see.
Here's your mark.
Yeah, it was Bradbury. It was a bit unorthodox around the side, but he does really well. He picks it up off his bootlaces and he gets away. But he actually isolates himself, and it ends up being Hamish Watson's trying to get there to get the clean out. And Stormers have a rattle at the corner. This time around, they're going to take the 3 points. Very unfortunate that was, from strong bit of play from Magnus Bradbury.
Oh, he was certainly eyeing up the line there. Stephen Kitsoff, one of 4 World Cup winners from 3 years ago. Alongside Malherbe, Yankees and Gallant.
I think it was Furi actually at the breakdown for the Stormers getting in that poach. That's a, you know, in the first 10 minutes, 3 or 4 times he's been prominent in there. He's a guy Hamish Watson, Bradbury, Crosby got to look out for and try and get rid of him.
There are the list of the top point scorers in the URC, led all the way by Manny Lebok. It should be a relatively simple 3 more to add to the tally. Well, I said simple, there are more ways than one to knock it over and claim your 3 points, and he kisses it off the inside of the post, and it is another 3 to the Stormers tally. They lead by 10 points to 3.
Yeah, it all came from that kickoff, as I said before. Actually, in these surfaces, we've seen Blair Kinghorn's restarts very, very good as well. Getting the ball, loads of hang time, and loads of opportunity for those chasing players to put the receiver under great pressure. The Stormers had a great outcome from the last one.
Not claimed cleanly by Nell, but backwards was the call as Furi looks to get involved now. Pyrgos, that's very smart indeed, but Lebok is able to come across.
Lineout's formed.
It was really skillful from Pyrgos, wasn't it? Just collected it and dropped it on the boot initially. Thought Edinburgh might have been a bit unlucky from that initial kickoff. You can hear the referee saying it went backwards. Have to see another angle. Looked like it could have gone forwards and could have been a penalty. But here's Furi, throws that ball inside. Pyrgos does really well. Goes backward off his hands, drops it on his boot.
Pulled away as well.
And he gets the line out.
Henry. Wait.
Well, Edinburgh might well fancy it from this kind of range. Dave Cherry, who was 12 out of 12, 100% against Glasgow a fortnight ago. He's found his man in Jamie Hodgson. It's brought down, it's been collapsed as Hamish Watson carries it a little further. Edinburgh playing with advantage. The collapse coming from Marvin Orry. Pyrgos now delivers it to the backs, and Dean takes a chance.
Advantage. You're on the ground, you've collapsed them all.
Back we go for the penalty.
Well read from Nell there, saw that chip coming a mile away.
Of course.
It's only because it was penalty advantage.
Has to go back 2 meters, but one is also that 9 meters.
Just trying to hear what...
Yeah, but he can come in after it's thrown. Yeah.
Sure what Hamish Watson was questioning the referee about. It looks like Blair Kinghorn might be going for the corner here. Brave call from Edinburgh. Good on them. Let's see how this maul goes.
Stephen.
Well, Edinburgh backing their line out to do the business.
Strong response from Edinburgh from conceding the penalty. Gone down really quickly, got territory, got possession. A great opportunity to pull themselves closer here.
Cherry finds Captain Gilchrist. It's with Watson, and now Cherry in charge at the back.
Stop.
The front of the maul has made it to 5 metres. Now Cherry joining it. Edinburgh have serious momentum here, and surely it's a try. It is, as Edinburgh go over. And Dave Cherry gets the score. Edinburgh to within 2 with the conversion to come. And that had been coming. Edinburgh get their reward for taking the gamble, backing their line out, and that's the result.
Yeah, great drills from Edinburgh there, and fair play to they had the penalty. It was on the 15-metre line. You thought they might have taken 3. Good kick from Blair Kinghorn to the corner. Great drills here. Grant Gilchrist calls it to himself, and Dave Cherry, he's right at the back of that maul the whole way, and he just controls it really, really nicely. Look at that setup. Not absolutely nothing the Stormers can do. Real low body position. He gets to the line and he lunges over. Great response from Edinburgh.
All clear, Ben? Yeah.
Will be for Boffelli to try from out wide this week, named in the Argentine squad to face Scotland.
He understood.
Over the summer. This to tie things up. Boffelli with a calm, sweet strike that drills the ball through the post, and it's all level at 10 apiece.
That was a beautiful kick, wasn't it? Lovely striking here. You just see another angle of that maul. Stormers players all over the side, coming around the back, arriving in from any angle but the right one. And Cherry just at the back of that maul showed great patience. Edinburgh got themselves organised, and they got over the line.
It's not the most glamorous position in rugby, but what an era to be a hooker.
Yeah, tries all over the place, and there's many ways to get them, but they all count, even the ugly ones like that.
Tackle release!
Hoyland is able to get to deck. Here's Bradbury. He'll be hoping that this isn't his final game in an Edinburgh shirt. He'll be heading to Bristol Bears next season, but looking to extend his time with Edinburgh. It's well taken by Gallant. Now he will look for space. It's the bouncing ball that's picked up by Zas. And the Bok through to Romezulu.
Yeah, Edinburgh will be happy enough with that. It looked like the box kick from Pyrgos was just a little bit long. Gallant had an opportunity to run it back. There was no compete for the ball. He decided to throw the ball infield. There's a couple of Hail Marys. Ball was bobbling everywhere, and Edinburgh get the ball back.
It's confirmed this week that the Stormers, Bulls and Sharks will all be joining Edinburgh in the Champions Cup next season. Cheetahs and the Lions in the Challenge Cup. Great to see the South Africans playing in European competition this season, particularly after the impact that they have made in the URC.
So a really good kick that time from Pyrgos, and a really good competition in the air. Referee deciding that came off Zas as he and Darcy Graham both went up to the ball. Proper contest. I think he got that one right.
Time off. It's going to be a line out.
And Edinburgh opted for the line out.
Two very different wingers, but Zas against Graham is going to be an intriguing battle.
Yeah, I mean, Darcy, we know all about Zas. We've seen it so far in this game. We've seen it most weeks with Darcy Graham. He's a player who punches so far above his weight. It's always nice to see a player at the top level still who isn't an absolute monster. When he gets the ball, he is absolutely electric. Not just in terms of his evasion skills, but how wriggly he is. He doesn't go to ground easy. As we see that replay, Blair Kinghorn, you see the ball watching, couldn't adjust back out. There was the frivolous offload. Oh, Blair Kinghorn. Yeah, it's soft in the end.
Good. Water off, please. Water off.
Response
Water
from
off.
Edinburgh. Came from hooker Dave Cherry.
Water off.
Scored on his 50th appearance against Connacht earlier on in the season. He's featured in every URC match.
The team was checking, nothing came up in the footage.
Stuart McAnally actually did make the journey out to South Africa this week, but not deemed fit enough for the side. Adam Burney is the hooker on the bench. As Cherry throws another dart, and Luke Crosby with the take. Pyrgos onto Chris Dean, who's knocked backwards in the tackle. Had a fine game against Glasgow, and that's why he got the nod over James Lang for this one. Now Bradbury, he was blindsided by the tackle of Fourie, and that forced the turnover.
Advantage over.
Yankees, and now here come the Stormers. Lovely bit of skill that frees up Sinatla, who's still going, eventually taken down by Hodgson. Yankees onto Demani. Really changed the point of attack, and Gallant does get the ball out to Ruan Nel. It was his late score against the Scarlets that won that game, claimed the shield and second place to set up this game. Lebok. And now Zas with the handoff. Can he get round Darcy Graham? Not quite. Looked like he probably had a foot and touch there.
First, stop, Evan.
And again, it came from an Edinburgh knock-on.
Walk away, please.
You've just got to be so careful. As soon as there's a turnover, the ball goes loose and it lands in the Stormers' hands. It's just straight away they snap into action. And look at that from Zas, that handoff. Just seeing, yeah, definitely a foot in touch there. The referee's got that one right. The referee's assistant, sorry, I should say. Yeah, when the Stormers, when they get that turnover ball, that's where Edinburgh just have to be so careful. They don't want to have a negative attitude. It was a big hit from Fourie again, I think, who's been really prominent so far in this first 20 minutes.
Water off, please, water off. Water off.
Great to see the crowds returning in South Africa.
Edinburgh.
Spells of further COVID. The grounds were emptied, and then extremely limited, slow returns, but
Way 9.
those in Cape Town enjoying their rugby. Cherry goes to the back, and it's taken by Gilchrist, who has managed to lose his scrum cap.
He's not on the ball now, off feet.
Pyrgos realised the danger. It's gone forward to Watson.
Forward pass.
And it will be the scrum to the Stormers.
It was good pressure, wasn't it, from the Stormers on the edge. Pyrgos just read that that was an overread from whoever that. I didn't see who that Stormers player was there, trying to block down the chart, and then after he dummies, I think it was a knock on, but he actually gave it for a forward pass to Hamish Watson. And again, the Stormers able to force an error off Edinburgh from a restart.
Chance to set the standard now.
It just seems at the minute no team has exited overly well from a restart and has allowed the other team to pick up points. It's been a bit of a back and forth.
Edging the pack weights.
Crouch! Bind!
That was fascinating. Schoeman against Malherbe, Nel against Kitsoff. That's as solid a platform as you'll see. Yankees. Lebok, lovely pass, Hilant. What a tackle it was by Hoyland, but now Lebok looking to dart round the side. Yankees with the pass out to Ruiz. The scrum half, short ball, Sinatla. Well tackled by Bradbury. Now kicked on by Yankees. Halant was there, but he couldn't quite claim it. And it's come off the leg. So
use it.
Edinburgh are now able to work their exit from within their own 22, and they'll get an easier departure with the penalty.
Well done, Edinburgh. Just really took their time in defence, kept their shape, forced the Stormers to try and pull a rabbit out of the hat with the chip through.
It
was really well covered, and eventually Daimani, just as that ball's turnover, just couldn't keep his discipline and stay on side, trying to put Edinburgh under pressure. Blair Kinghorn with an opportunity to take some energy out of this and just get exited.
Just was a decision. I didn't think so, but I know your point. Yeah, but I made a judgment that it wasn't.
He's definitely got that one. They're both at a mile offside. More than one player.
I get them. Set the line, I get them.
Soft.
Number 3
Edinburgh weren't in a position to exit.
5 called.
When they met in round 3, a lot of the scores came early. Edinburgh were actually 14-0 up. Darcy Graham and Ben Vellicott was 20 all at the break. And that's the way it finished, 0-0 in the second half, which was somewhat of a surprise.
That's
all even
use it!
in Cape Town. Long way to go. Pyrgos now is the full extension of Jamie Hodgson's back leg. Sinatla lost it in flight, and Hoyland recovered it really well. It's there for Pyrgos, who can claim it quickly to get the ball to Nell. Now Dean escapes the first tackle, not the second though of Murat. Skuman runs into Ori. Pyrgos to Hoyland and Nell. It's all a little unstructured at the moment. That might suit somebody like Blair Kinghorn. Dean gets it out to Bradbury, runs straight. Ciabello Sinatla. And now Pyrgos decides it's time to chip one on. He didn't have any angle really to work with. And out it goes on the full.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a good kick initially from Edinburgh in that box kick. Great tactics to be playing against this Stormers game. You don't want to get, I know this Edinburgh team can run and play rugby, but you don't want to get drawn into doing it too much. Like when you're playing against the likes of Sinatla and the likes of Zas, so good going forward. The best way to play them sometimes is to get up over them in the air. Edinburgh got a bit of energy from that end. They lost their way for a couple of phases. WP Nell at first receiver in the midfield. It's not what the Edinburgh fans will have wanted to see. But just in the end of the day there, you could just see what Pyrgos was trying to do. He was trying to probe that space in behind, but just overcooked it.
Either side has a decent post-season record. Edinburgh have played 3 URC playoff fixtures. They've lost them all. Quarter-final Cardiff in 02, then Munster in 2018, semi-final against Ulster a couple of years back. The Stormers 4 knockout games since 2012, all at Newlands, all defeats. Of course, coming in Super Rugby. Oh, it's really clever from Lebot to put Ruiz through the gap. Fine tackle from Buffelli, but Ruiz gets straight back up. It's the long looping pass from Ongezulu, and here goes Zas. Just when you think you've got him, he scampers away, kicks off.
Advantage, knock on.
And the knock-on comes from Yankees.
Play on, your advantage.
Edinburgh have the ball.
Knock on advantage.
Through Mark Bennett. Pyrgos. And Graham. No way round Ruan Nell.
Knock on advantage.
More minutes than any other Stormer.
Stay.
Fergus now
Use it!
should be able to bring relative
Advantage
calm
over.
as he sends that one clear, but it is going to be fielded by Zas. It's a wonderful take too. Malherbe gets the Stormers back, teetering on the brink of the Edinburgh 22, and now beyond it through Marvin Ori. Gallant, lovely soft hands to Lebok, but it was a forward pass. Those two link up so well.
Some lovely rugby from the Stormers over the past couple of minutes. Really, they look really dangerous when they get going. That was Gallant. And it was a bit of a 1-2 with Lebok. It was really nice rugby. Referee just adjudged it was a forward pass. Here you'll see it again. It's hard to know. I always think when that playmaker steps back as he passes the ball. But we'll take the referee had a better view than us. Maybe a fair enough call, but what a break it was initially. It looked like the Stormers were set up for a box kick. Yanchis didn't get the ball he wanted off the top of the line. He flung it in field, and it was Lebok. And you always hear people talking about dog legs in rugby, and that's exactly what we mean. He went to the line, he was able to put it behind the Edinburgh player's back to Roos, who's an absolute machine up the middle of the field.
I know, that's why
Did the right thing, held on to the ball, released it, got back to his feet and went again. And then Zas, every time he gets the ball, he looks like he's going to score a try or beat a few players.
We haven't seen any foul down.
Got a really, really dangerous passage of play from the Stormers there.
We talked about the current internationals and World Cup winners in this Stormers side, but surely the likes of Evan Roos and Leland Zas have got future caps in them. Perhaps this summer.
9, let's go, guys.
Yeah, and as I said about 5 minutes ago, the way to play Zas is to get the ball up in the air, and then the next one he plucks one above his head, Aussie rule style.
Crouch! Bind!
Go with all those tries. He's made more line breaks, unsurprisingly, of course, than anyone else in the URC. 10 appearances, balance, 11 please. Tries.
Guys, we've got to have some way.
Better than a try a game. Some going.
Let's work. Yeah, fair enough. Let's work together and get it right.
3 that he got in the Curry Cup.
Take a bit off. Don't stand up.
Yeah, and as we said earlier in the show, for Edinburgh, it's just about trying not to be loose with possession. That initially did actually come from a Stormers set piece, but I do feel like the Stormers look more dangerous from turnover balls. Balls, you know, squirting out or coming out the side of a rock or knocks on. They look really dangerous in that transition or a loose kick. So Edinburgh have just got to be really careful at times not to try and overplay.
Stay behind. Stay behind.
Scrums have been decent so far.
Wait, 7.
That will allow Kinghorn to send that long. That is a brilliant clearance from the Edinburgh fly half.
Yeah, it's a really good exit from Edinburgh. Absolutely textbook. Just as the ball comes to the back of the scrum, Pyrgos actually shapes like he's going to pass left. Just manipulates that Stormers kick pressure on back 3. He goes back right to Kinghorn, who absolutely hoofs it, and from there, that's an absolutely brilliant kick, and puts it into Rosette of the stands. There's no chance for a counter-attack.
JJ Coxett made his debut at the Damhill Stadium.
That's blue to ground, play on. Blue to ground first. Ground first. Use it.
With no Stefan Ungerud joining the injured players for the Stormers.
Bear high most.
Yankees with the high tester for Darcy Graham. And he took it running at pace. Now here's Gilchrist, knocked back in a bit of a juggling act, but ball managing not to go forward at Bradbury now. And slip at the wrong moment from Hoyland.
Backwards play.
Schumann. And Jamie Hodgson.
Wait, 3.
Now Kinghorn. Again, to use that powerful boot. Manny Lebok. The safe enough take. That one doesn't look to have got too much distance on it. Warwick Gallant, though, is able to pick up, and the fullback charging forward, he's going to outstrip Buffelli, but the tap from Buffelli, and then from nowhere comes Darcy Graham. That was absolute robbery. That was a try all day long. First of all for Haaland, but the tap tackle from Buffelli, and then Darcy Graham somehow nipped in there. No. And Edinburgh breathe a major sigh of relief. Clearance completed by Henry Pyrgos. How was that not a try?
It's I don't know if Haaland's made an absolute horlicks of it or it's unbelievable defence from Edinburgh. I think a bit of both. You just see it. Actually, wondered did it come off a Stormers player there, but Haaland does well. Ball in two hands, goes to one hand. He's so sure he's going to score. It's an unbelievable tap tackle from Buffelli, and Darcy Graham, fair play to him. He comes from an absolute mile away. There's no right to be even chasing back. It looked like Haaland was going over the try line underneath the sticks, and that is unbelievable stuff from Buffelli. I don't know how he turned and got back and got that tap. And Darcy Graham, what a chase back that is. Edinburgh, woof, that was close.
Darcy Graham, the artful dodger, pickpocketing Herschel Yankees when the try line was begging. Right, here come Edinburgh.
Stop 7-12!
Hoyland. That's another good kick. The winger has done really well. Edinburgh have executed a great escape from their own line there in 2 plays.
It looked like he came off the inside of the boot a bit. I'm not sure if he was planning on putting it that close to the touchline, but it was a great kick, and what an outcome. And as you say, huge 30 seconds or back-to-back plays for Edinburgh there. Buffelli and Graham getting back, and Pyrgos getting that ball out. Edinburgh disrupting. It's a bit of a loose ball from Kinghorn, but what a kick from Hoyland.
Now here's Ruiz.
Forward.
Went forward, the hit came in. What a clash it was of the 2 number 8s. Bradbury, the tackler, Ruiz, the carrier.
Thank you. Forward pass, back you go.
Cherry in there as well. The pass was forward.
If it was a high tackle, he will come in, okay? Back we go.
If it wasn't a high tackle, it wasn't far away. Be interesting to see.
Forward pass here, Adam, is it?
Yeah, be interesting to see if somebody has a look at that.
Ben, you're happy?
Slow it down, mate. We're just going to have a look at this.
Okay.
Yeah, you can hear Ben Whitehouse there. Let's hear what he says.
Edinburgh
just asked for one angle. Hang on, Frank.
Yeah, no problem.
Decision here is
time is off at the moment.
Okay, Frank, I have head contact here. We need to check, please.
Okay, time off.
the tackle on Evan Ruiz.
I think he could be in a bit of bother, to be honest. It is very close to the chin.
We'll separate when I go to the screen, please. Grant, just take him away.
The shoulder on neck. Definitely.
Okay, so we're checking foul play, Ben.
It's very close to the chin.
Yeah, that's correct, mate. When you're under the screen, tell me and we'll play it.
Okay.
And for me, when Bradbury's hips are not bent, if he's fully upright, then he's got no defence for me either.
Under the screen, Ben, you can start playing the angles.
Yeah, here they are, Frank. The director's playing them all for you now.
Chris.
So it's the number 8 orange.
Start considering if there are any mitigating circumstances
it's just
here.
Yellow. We are
Between whether this results in a yellow or a red, I think is really going to be the decision.
Show me another angle at full speed, Ben.
Yeah, I've told them to keep playing it, Frank. Bear with us.
Thank you. I'll tell you when I'm ready to come back to me.
Enough of a dip from Ruiz. I don't think there is one from Magnus Bradbury.
Not sure there is a big enough dip from Ruiz.
Okay, Ben, I have a decision. You can come back to me.
Yeah, you're on screen, Frank.
Okay, so first thing I want to know from you, we have contact above the shoulder to the neck.
That is correct. Initial contact is to the body.
Okay, so what I'm seeing is foul play. We have contact to the neck, but initial contact to the body, and he's actually quite passive. Number 8, blue, probably contributes to the force, so I'm thinking yellow card.
I am 100% with you.
Okay, just give me a number, please.
8 orange.
8 orange.
Frank Murphy
Number
and
8.
Ben Whitehouse coming to their conclusion.
8.
It will be yellow card for Magnus Bradbury.
Okay. High tackle, yellow card.
I think it's a fair enough decision. I'm not sure I agreed with everything that Frank Murphy and Ben Whitehouse were discussing. In terms of, you know, he mentioned that there wasn't much force to it. I mean, I don't know, maybe Ben Whitehouse is more physical than Evan Roos, but
he wasn't in the...
Yeah, it's easy to say from up there, Ben. And I think when the player has a clear line of sight for 10 metres and doesn't bend at the hips at all, it would have been a very, very harsh red card. I think it's probably the right decision.
Perfect,
unable to gain too much ground from there, but Edinburgh will finish this half with 14 men.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't cost them, because players, these are professional players, they need to tackle lower. You know, he should know better.
One stop!
We saw earlier on in the day how much of a blow it was for Glasgow. Conceded 21 points without Richie Gray in their side when leading early on.
Tackle, release!
Edinburgh to show that they can stick in this game.
Wait for, stop!
5 minutes or so leading up to half-time, crucial point in the game. That's a fine take from Buffelli. He was almost looking to get the offload to Darcy Graham.
Use it.
Turgos is taking as long as he can. Crosby.
Use it!
Scrum half again. Boot to ball. He's got a chaser in Hamish Watson. Nice take from Gallant. Kicks off. Might be held up by Mark Bennett, but Kitsoff has the weight and power to get the ball to deck. It's the Stormers that clear long. Covered by Darcy Graham.
Push! Use it! What?
Crosby.
On the ball for you. Yeah, keep playing.
This sort of a game suits Edinburgh, who are trying to run down as much of the clock as they can.
Wait.
After the yellow card. Turgos continues the kick exchange. Sinatla manages to get a bit of go forward for the Stormers, though, and Watson just has to be careful. There's Malherbert.
Off the foot.
Now Libok.
Oh, no.
Another tester in the air. Buffelli claims that the tackles are well timed and the drive comes.
Rock was over, he can kick the ball.
Kotza looks to have perhaps got it turned on the Stormers' side. It's a bit of a mess in there. And it's going to result in the Edinburgh penalty.
No.
The Stormers player came in from the side.
Yeah, it was an absolute mess, that last breakdown, wasn't it? Counter rucks coming in at all angles. Stormers captain Kishoff's in the referee's ear. I'm not sure. It was an absolute mess. I think it's a fair enough decision in the end. Interesting, since that sin bin, now passage of play, I think the Stormers kicked the ball 4 times. As you say, really suit Edinburgh. Edinburgh just going, well, soft yellow card, try and get in to half-time at 10-all. And the Stormers, interesting tactic to kick the ball repeatedly, not try and put pressure on Edinburgh, particularly of that dangerous back three who've been so prominent so far in the game.
And Edinburgh more than happy that the clock just continues to trickle towards half-time, with Blair Kinghorn who will look to make a safe line-out claim.
It was a big hit, wasn't it? And then initially a good counter ruck from the Stormers, boots going everywhere, a couple of players going down on the ground. Both teams trying to poach, counter ruck strong from Edinburgh. It was a mess. There was a penalty in there somewhere. It's
the 7th so far in this half, and is a feature of Frank Murphy's style of refereeing. He does like to keep things flowing, as one of the lowest penalty rates in the league. Well played by Edinburgh to claim the line out. The centres combined between Bennett and Dean. Darcy Graham is stopped.
Not held.
Only momentarily by Diamani.
Back 7. Use it.
Pierre Schumann keeps the legs pumping. Gains an extra 5 yards out of that. And Crosby. That one could be stolen and is, as Dion Fury managed to get his paws on the ball, and Edinburgh wouldn't release it.
Yeah, he did well, didn't he?
First man on the ball.
Not the first time we've mentioned them being prominent at the breakdown. You can see what Edinburgh were trying to do from the initial set piece. Hit the midfield with both the centres. The ball just wasn't quick enough, and then as they came back to the short side trying to switch, I think it was Darcy Graham up through the side of that rock, when Diamani was just sitting waiting for it because the ball was slow and the Stormers were organised. And Edinburgh just after that, they never really found their way. It was a good carry from Crosby actually, but just Cherry it was the only cleaner. He didn't get the threat. He took Kishoff out of the way, and it was Fury who got on the ball. Not sure where the next Edinburgh cleaner was, but their players need more support than that.
10 seconds.
To get guys like Dion Fury off the ball. You can see the numbers there. He's been busy. That's all I can say.
30 steals for Dion Fury this season. Only Jack Morgan of the Ospreys has had more. And now the final play of the half, and it could be a big one. There goes Gomez-Zulu, the young replacement that got his early chance for coming on for Pretorius to make his debut. Diamani. Edinburgh looking for one last turnover, and there goes the big boot of Grant Gilchrist to send that one into the stands and blow up the end of this first half, which has been scintillating, and it is on a knife edge at the DHL Stadium. An early try from Warwick Gallant, equalised by David Cherry, and at the break in Cape Town it's DHL Stormers 10 and Green Point on the shores of the Atlantic Ocean. Giant 55,000 all-seater stadium. And the Stormers, when they've been here, have pretty much had things all their own way. Just one defeat. That came back in December when the Emirates Lions came here and won, but they won 8 on the bounce here since. Their record since the turn of the year is just 1 defeat in 13. That came away to Connacht in February.
Ready, 10.
Edinburgh, their first half of the season was unfortunately not matched in the second half, and that saw them just drop down after leading the table after round 10. But crucially claiming 7th place in the Champions Cup spot ahead of Glasgow Warriors, and they have certainly got themselves right in the fight for a place in the Final Four in the URC. Was that knocked backwards? Nope, it just goes forward from Gallant. Looks a little bit awkward getting back to his feet.
Yeah, it looked like he'd collected the ball initially. Let's just see the replay here. Not sure what happened. But just interesting. It's an ideal start to this second half for Edinburgh. You're still running down the clock in that sim bin. As the clock ticks on there, another sort of 5 minutes to go, and you just wondered, the Stormers just want to really find some rhythm. You feel, well, the game stops, start, and there's a lot of mistakes and a lot of whistles and a lot of resets. You feel like that's just going to play into Edinburgh. I know that this Edinburgh team can play a lot of rugby, but it's been built over the past 4 or 5 years from a very set-piece, box-kick-oriented Richard Cockrell coach side. And And just at the end of that first half, was very surprised that the Stormers opted to kick and not try and get real flow and momentum to this game. We saw in the first half a couple of times Sinatla got the ball anytime Zas touched it. Hilant was prominent at back three. They look so dangerous. Roos in the back row. So I just feel like they need to get a bit of flow into this game.
It's interesting seeing the evolution of this Edinburgh side becoming a more attacking, flowing side, but also using the basis of that solid Richard Cockerell pack, not forgetting the uses of a lot of what came before. You see Chris Dean just propping himself on the side of that scrum, and what a pick-up that is from Luke Crosby. It's on to Hamish Watson, who's tackled well by Stephen Kitsoff. Pierre Schumann. We're just seeing out the final moments of that yellow card for Magnus Bradbury. It's a tester for Hilant. It's been knocked on, and Leland Zas almost up into his running. Daimani. It's the pass away. It's Murat. Yankees. Lebok decides to fling the pass, and it's actually Ruan Nel who puts boot to ball. Felly launches one in response. Hilant. And now Lebok, there's a bit of space here. And Gomez Zulu, the youngster, taken down. He's certainly not shied away on debut. Hilant delays the pass, then finds Furi, and a chance up the touchline. It's a wonderful pass. Sinatla gets the ball into Ruan Nel, and that is how deadly the Stormers can be. You give them any space and they will hurt you. And right near the end of that yellow card, the sin binning for Magnus Bradbury, the Stormers strike, and it's Ruan Nel who gets a crucial score in this game, which is so tightly poised.
It's electric stuff from the Stormers. Just as you see it, as Lebok sweeps back, he throws that big pass to Hilant. Looked like, I think it was Nel had overrun, and then it looked like Furi had maybe made the mistake. Sinatla does so well. He's holding that ball on one side. He looks like he's going to take on Buffelli coming across. Transfers the ball back into two hands. Here you can see just ball going around the back. As Furi does well on that offload to the left hand. Sinatla, ball back into two hands. Could do it with his eyes closed. And Nel, as any good setter, just backing up after initially overrun the ball. Look at that second touch. He gets it, and he gets in underneath his sticks for an unbelievable score. That's the danger that this Stormers side possesses. Absolutely out of nothing. Fantastic score from the Stormers.
Extras added. It is the full 7 to start this second half. Around about the same sort of time as they struck in the first half. Stormers have done it again. Ruan Nel, who got a double at the Parky Scarlets a couple of weeks ago.
Use it.
Ruas.
Off feet, release.
Rangy number 8. Magnus Bradbury, incidentally, is back on, so it is 15 against 15. Edinburgh survived pretty well right up until the dying seconds of his sin binning. Buffelli claims the high ball. Schumann, there was a knock on there. Edinburgh wonder if it came from
nobody playing the ball. Okay.
The defender coming up in an offside position, but Ruas is so quick.
He was certainly quick out of the traps, wasn't he? Looked like he might have just timed it well. Can't see from this angle. Pergos does take a step when he comes up. Looked like he was going to go for the interception initially.
Okay, let me do my job and we'll get better decisions. Okay, thank you.
Just as we're trying to hear Frank Murphy arguing with a few players in his ear. Pierre Schumann won't thank Cross for that thing. The last thing you want in first receiver is a prop getting sprinted at from a big number 8 like that. It was a big collision and the ball just comes loose. The Stormers another chance. It is interesting off a lot of set pieces, and a lot of times Stormers get the ball. They seem to be welcoming this kick tennis, the kicking the ball, and just hoping that one time it breaks loose and they can get into their shape. They're probably about to prove me wrong and have a score try from set piece. But that's not what we've seen so far from them.
You can, but you can go fully back, you can start here. Crouch! Bind! Sit! Not taking the hit, collapsing.
The scrum becomes a penalty.
Not taking the hit, collapsing.
Dominance for the Stormers front row.
Yeah, just feels that the game's changed very, very quickly. Big momentum swing, scores Stormers that try from nowhere. Now, it looked like there was a bit of a discussion. Was wondering, was someone going to try for the 55-metre penalty, but no, the Buck trying and get his Stormers team as far as possible up the field here, and another opportunity to get some more points.
WPNL, for whom it all began at Durbanville Belleville Rugby Club 15 years ago.
On the line, please,
he
Edinburgh.
is really back on home turf.
Okay, Marshall.
Marshall Sykes comes on for Edinburgh.
For everybody form the line out, please. In. Hold on. What's the problem? Let's go, please. Form the line out. Lads. Marvin. Marvin, in, please. In.
But numbers eventually. Cutson takes aim.
Sack is good.
Finds his man well. Straight down, but legally so, says Frank Murphy. Ruas, as ever, the carrier.
Tackle away.
Hamish Watson trying to rip it away. Two big, strong men. Here's Marvin Ori. Presents it for Yankees. Libok. And out it comes for Daimani. And it's knocked on by Ngomezulu.
That was good pressure. I think it was Bennett. It was a bit predictable. Just that very slow shape, very deep runner. I think it was Mark Bennett, just read it like a book. Here it is, you can see Rionell going through in that line. Doesn't even look like he's going to receive the ball.
They got the timing right.
And Daimani does spin out of that Bennett tackle, but it was the pressure. And then the offload went loose. Good pressure from Edinburgh.
Went to your knee. That's what the penalty is for. Get your feet under. Okay. Okay.
Let's go, Edinburgh haven't actually won away from home since the victory in Durban against the Sharks. Came back in March. 21-5 as they became the first European team to win in South Africa.
Bind! Sit! Down together, use it!
Scrum goes down, Bradbury with the pick-up, he swats away Herschel Yankees.
Lost 8. No.
And Turgos finds Crosby. It's going to be a penalty coming the way of the Stormers, and they're just starting to find some dominance in this game.
Yeah, they've been strong over the
First
ball.
Man, clear left.
Again, get another, just as there's a little bit of a discussion about what to do. Kishoff, captain, eventually. Yeah, just when they considered the corner, didn't they? And then eventually just thought, take 3, get the lead to 10. Here's a replay, see again, Crosby carries the ball in. Just so many, just as he goes to ground, there's just so many Stormers players. You could see the 3 orange shirts arriving, but it was just a little bit late as Crosby hits the deck. There's 3, 4 blue jerseys there, and it's all very well arriving for a big clean, but when that player is locked in that poach position and arrives first, it's always hard.
JJ Kotzer with the telling intervention after the tackle from Frans Malherbe.
Yeah, I will. I haven't seen it as an issue yet. But he did the same to them. Very similar.
Manny Lebok, who was signed from the Sharks last summer. It's been an excellent first season for the Stormers. Draws that one back towards the post. It's another 3 to the Stormers' cause. And they're starting to build a good lead. That puts them beyond the score.
Yeah, it was a good kick, wasn't it? And as you say, puts them beyond that score, gets them to 20 points, to 10 up. So you can see why they decided to take those 3 points. And then, well, now Edinburgh will be just looking for a big high restart from Blair Kinghorn, and it is.
I feel that Edinburgh probably have to score next. They have the ball through Pierre Schumann. Pyrgos under pressure. Up comes that blitz defence. Here's Hoyland. Edinburgh survived that scare. Schumann. Dean with the looping pass that finds Darcy Graham.
No!
Gilchrist head down and into Malherbe. And the pickup comes from Daimani. Another turnover comes in the Stormers' possession. Gallant. Important tackle from Hoyland to get it away to Nell. Lebok. Broken play. And the Stormers can be so dangerous when the pitch is splintered like this, and Lebok sends that one through. Gallant on the chase. How will the bounce of the ball go? Yankees coming across this. Gallant. Watson with the tackle. Can anyone get control? Ivan Ruiz can. Edinburgh claim for a knock-on. Ivan Ruiz, the poacher, waiting for his moment. He got the pick-up. Did he get the touchdown?
So the guy who's on the ground who tried to pop it up. Okay, but on-field decisions try. Then on-field decisions try. We're just checking whether the player on the floor passed it forward or went backwards off orange.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll try and get the best angles for you now.
It was an absolute mess, wasn't it? The ball, I think there's a few players out there who need to change their studs. Here we see it, any bouncing ball gives you a chance. Jantes puts his foot on the ball. Let's play on from here. Gallant picks it up. He tries to pass it. And what the referee's saying is, does Gallant pass it backwards and it come off Hamish Watson, or does it go forward? My first impression was it went forward, because this is a good angle.
Probably a best angle.
Hamish Watson.
We need to have a look at Orange's hands on the floor.
So Orange's hands on the floor is illegal anyway, so we'll just, and there's no other infringement by Blue, so we'll go ahead with the try.
Watson's hand coming in, knocking the ball backwards.
And 15 was onside previous to that as well, so we're sticking with the try.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to be a third Stormers score, and it's a crucial one. The gap is growing.
Because Hamish knocked out of his hands on the ground.
Ivan Ruiz
something more if they didn't score a try, Grant.
With a vital try.
Yeah, and the Edinburgh players, Grant Grilkis, the captain, just questioning the referee there. And you know, I think as the referee warned him, actually Hamish Watson, not only has he knocked it backwards, but he's also out of the game, so it's illegal. It was an absolute mess, wasn't it? But as that ball goes over the top, it was a lovely wee kick, it found space. As somehow the conversion's gone wide, I think.
I saw it on the screen.
Here's the replay of the kick. It's a great kick from Lebok. He's just connected with Gallant so well tonight. And you can just see, picks up the ball, goes to pop it up, Watson knocks it out of his hand, and how well does Roos do for a big man? Picks it off, it's obviously wet underfoot, everyone's slipping and sliding, picks it off his bootlaces and gets over the line. And you did say, you know, it's a bit of a cliche, Nick score. It's not, it wasn't Nick score wins, but Nick score makes it a long way back for Edinburgh, that's for sure.
There's 15 unanswered points from the Stormers to kick off the opening 14.5 minutes of this second half, as Namakaba has come on, a man who is a real menace at the breakdown. That won't make life any easier for Edinburgh.
Outside now.
Dion Furi, the 35-year-old, makes way for Kaba.
Outside. No. One. Leave him. Don't pull him.
The buck to Hellant. Another long pass out to Zas, but he can't get away from Darcy Graham.
Play on, Chris. All off the foot.
The official's quite happy to have play go on, and here's Ori.
Use it!
This time the ball
Stop
will
here.
put boot to ball. That's anyone's. And the man to claim it is Emiliano Buffelli.
Advantage off feet,
Penalty coming Edinburgh's way. Can they get themselves back into this contest? Quick ball for Pyrgos, and then Kinghorn on to Crosby, who breaks through. One pass sets Pyrgos under the post. Edinburgh still alive. That was exactly the response that they needed. It was emphatic. And Edinburgh are not going down without a fight.
Unbelievable stuff from Edinburgh. It was a dreadful exit kick from the Stormers, and then here it is. Kinghorn gets it into Crosby's hand. He's played well tonight. Great footwork, does so well, comes off his right foot, gets the ball back into two hands and pops it inside to Pyrgos. Here's the ball from Kinghorn. Not dissimilar to Daimani's line break in the first half. You look at the ball transfer, gets it in the right for the handoff, back to the left, into two hands, and Pyrgos backing up the middle. It was a shocking kick from Lebok that put them under pressure, but how good was Emiliano Buffelli's take? He claimed it, not for the first time this evening, and converts the try, and Edinburgh right back in this game. Full credit to them. It was really, really clinical stuff. Here it is again. Ball's in the left hand. Transfer to the other. Beautiful stuff. Pyrgos, lovely step, goes low. Great response from Edinburgh.
Time off, player down.
Exactly what Mike Blair's men needed. But the consequence could come with an injury to Emiliano Buffelli. He's such a key player in that side. It'll be desperate for him to continue. The pleasing sight is that he's now back to his feet and looks okay.
Time on.
Of course, his fellow countryman Ramiro Mojano will be leaving Edinburgh. We're getting a pretty handy wing replacement in Wes Goosen, former Hurricane. He's got a strike rate of a try every other game in Super Rugby. That could be fireworks to come in the Edinburgh backline next season. I mentioned earlier on in the game that recruitment already done by the Stormers, who are bringing in Joseph Dweba from Bordeaux and Willie Engelbrecht as well. Some exciting times to come for them.
Looks like blue to me. Blue on the line. Yes. Okay, on the outside, but get off your knee and be up.
The referees putting their heads together and concluding it came off blue. Looked like come off about everyone. Is it? Yes, an Edinburgh put in. And they have a long way to go, but they're still in this game.
More!
A take from Gilchrist. Edinburgh still alive and fighting. Just over a quarter of the game to go. They've got a penalty coming their way as well. They did not start this half well, but they've certainly come into it. Here goes Bennett. He sees the splintered backline. Buffelli now decides not to give it to Graham, goes it alone. Fine tackle coming across by Ngomezulu. Here's Crosby, whose break set up that wonderful Pyrgos score. Schumann. Edinburgh really showing their character here. Watson leaves it for Pyrgos, and now Kinghorn. Did it come back to go level? Because here is Damien Hoyland. And the decision is the knock-on from the winger.
Edinburgh looking really, really prominent there. It was a lovely passage of play.
You know we're on advantage here for you changing your mind.
Initially came in that maul, they got penalty advantage. Pyrgos through the big pass. It was a lovely ball from Bennett. Just as we see that last passage of play, Kinghorn throws the ball over the top.
Are we good to go, guys?
Hoyland was trying to get that ball, and the left-handed offload to Bennett. Came loose, cross piece just been absolutely everywhere this evening. Both number 6 actually both have. It was just that ball just rolled forward, didn't it? And the Stormers breathed a sigh of relief.
Keep going, please.
20 minutes left.
Keep going with water.
You feel like the Stormers, they're very, very dangerous. They're good. They can score from anywhere. You feel like they'll get more points in the last 20 minutes, so still going to be tough for Edinburgh. That was a really impressive last passage of play.
Yes, let's go.
Coaches starting to dip into their benches, but both perhaps a little reluctant to make the wholesale changes at this stage, wanting to stick with as much of their starting 15s as they can. It'll be a free kick.
Free engage, no space.
Yeah, it's interesting here from the Stormers.
Scrum down.
Just really, you know, they've got that lead. And there's the old adage about just stopping playing, and it just feels like the dynamic and the momentum's changed in the last couple of minutes. You see that getting a free kick penalty. This is the team, one of the best attacks in the league, and not only did they not tap it quickly, but they choose another scrum. It really feel like they're playing into Edinburgh's hand by really taking the tempo out of the game. And Edinburgh now being forced to play. The first look at it looked pretty good.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
First playoff game for the Stormers since 2016-17 in Super Rugby when they lost here to the Chiefs. That's a penalty, and that will help the cause. A loud roar goes up from Herschel Yankees.
Well, fair play to Stephen Kitchoff, the Stormers' loose head prop and captain. The free kick was awarded. I thought they might have tapped it, and then as it slowed up, you thought, no, you're right, they'll just kick it. Maybe a contestable or go long. It was the skipper put his hand up in the air, said, we're going to scrum. And it was W.P. Nell, his opposite number, that was penalised. Here's the replay.
There's your mark.
You can just see the pressure came on from Kitchoff. Nell had nowhere to go. Did look like he lost his grip as well, but he went down.
I'll get numbers for you. Stay where I put you, please. 6 goals.
And now just this set piece for the Stormers in and around the halfway line. Just going to be interesting to see, are they still taking the tempo out of this game, going for a maul and a kick, or are they going to keep trying to play rugby?
Stay where I asked you. Don't close.
Not found the target. It's Nell that's able to pick up.
Release. Ball's there.
Edinburgh ball for Pyrgos. Hamish Watson is first lined up to hit the tackle of Malherbert.
Wait.
Now Kinghorn sends it high. Gallant decides to come forward. It ends up in the hands of Nell. That's a very good kick from Ruan Nell. The bounce just doesn't quite work for him. He found the right space. Hoyland with the response. Really well measured from the winger.
Yeah, it was a phenomenal kick from Hoyland, wasn't it? Does his job really, really well. As you say, it was a good kick from Nell into that corner. ball didn't skid, it just sat up, but how well did Hoyland did. He turned and he got back so quickly, fielded that ball, and then it was a fantastic kick. Sinatla didn't know whether to try and field it, he let it bounce. Great work from Hoyland.
James Lang is on for Chris Dean. That one of the big selection options for Mike Blair. Chris Dean got the nod for just his 4th start of the season. James Lang comes with a bit more international experience. The man signed from Harlequins last season. Demani and Watson both unable to claim it. It was the knock-on, I think, from Watson.
No advantage,
and we'll go back for the scrum. The line-out not quite functioning as well for the Stormers. It's a couple that have gone astray.
No, and as a whole, the Stormers haven't always been impressive this evening. I do think Edinburgh have had some great patches and put them under a lot of pressure and forced these mistakes.
Mark's here.
I do think the Edinburgh defensive line-out has been strong. Hodgson and Gilchrist in the second row, along with that, the likes of Crosby and Bradbury getting up, causing them problems. But a lot of the Stormers, you know, their tries and their line breaks, they've come from nothing. Times they've looked very average under Edinburgh pressure.
You still have to stay up.
Andre Hugo Venter, son of former Springbok Andre Venter, comes on at hooker for JJ Kotze.
Let's go, Kotze! Let's go,
Nine. Crouch! Bind! Set! Okay. Well, that's not the issue. The issue for me is that we're head and head, 2 of us. Okay, we need to get our gaps. Okay, give him space. I shouldn't have continued when you were like that. Okay, don't mess around in the scrum. If you have a gap, take it. Understand?
Yes. Yes, good. Up. Let's go, catch up. One more, let's go. Let's go, Mark. Let's go, get that. Let's go, Willem.
Crouch! Bind!
That one won't do either.
The issue here is clearly with the hookers, right? Okay, you're lining up and your feet together.
Patience.
I need you to see you left of each other. Give him a gap, take the gap. Last chance.
Yeah, he doesn't sound happy, doesn't he?
Okay, put your foot down first and adjust. Okay, we'll move over.
And every front rower will be trying to get in his ear, all 6 of them, trying to get their point across.
Step to step. Yes, stay there now.
Let's go. Let's go, big one. Let's go, Kotze.
Many have pushed John Dobson's side here close.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
He knows he's in a game. Looking to set up a home semi-final against Ulster. Yankees to Libot. Backtracking Boffelli and just a slight slip before the traction of the studs kicked in. Libok again, and Gallant. That's an awkward one from the fullback. Slightly got away with it as it kicked up before going into the breadbasket of Darcy Graham, who was manhandled to the deck. Schoeman. Ruiz. He just steals it away like taking sweets from a baby.
Advantage offside.
Yankees, Gallant. And we'll go back.
Going back for offside.
For the penalty for offside against Henry Pyrgos.
Blocking options.
Well, Ruiz with an incredible steal there.
Yeah, it was some reef, wasn't
it? In the way to pass.
Just went high on the tackle. His colleague, his teammate, was round the legs. Just as the player was going to the ground, I'm not sure who it was. I think it was either Nell or Schoeman. It's a big man, whoever it was. Here we see it. It's Pierre Schoeman. It's a lovely line, actually, off Kinghorn. You can just see, great, and it looked when he stepped and he got away. We saw him score an absolute belter earlier in the season. I think it might have been against the Ospreys. Thought he was going to run it in, and just as Herschel Jancis comes left, referee penalises whoever that retreating player was for a lazy runner. Play swept back to the other side, an aimless kick actually from Hillant. Knew it was penalty advantage.
Just one man down, so.
The Stormers, as I said all night, just when that ball comes loose and they do get turnover, they do look dangerous.
I didn't see
Very likely to have a rattle at the goals here and try and get 11-point lead.
Neat link for Chia.
We're good to go.
It's on for Frans Malherbe.
Time on, water off. Water off, please. What a shot. Shot called. Here's your mark.
Just look to extend their lead from 8 to 11. To take some more time off the clock as well. Who has been pretty accurate from the tee all season. He did miss a rather straightforward one on to convert the Ruas try around about 15 minutes ago. So the Bok, perfectly judged, and it's an 11-point lead with an 11.5 minutes to go for the Stormers.
Time off. Just waiting for your men to go off.
Not only was it a good kick, but he really took his time, didn't he?
Just wait till I put the whistle. I put the whistle on.
It's just starting to get a little bit frantic and desperate now for Edinburgh. Last roll of the dice of this 12 minutes. Still there from them.
Charlie Shield and Adam McBurney are on. Just confirm the Stormers replacement that came on for Salman Murat.
Tackle away. No.
Herschel Jancis opts to kick. Adre Smith that came on as Buffelli takes that one well. Adre Smith on his 25th birthday. Now Shield, the replacement scrum half for Edinburgh. Bennett.
Back.
Crosby and Kinghorn almost caught by Kitsoff, but he's done well to keep it alive for Edinburgh, eventually taken down by Daimani.
Advantage, not rolling, number 8.
Oh, and that one will go the way of Edinburgh as Ruas caught not rolling away.
Yeah, Ruas, he was just in the way there, wasn't he? As Edinburgh tried to clear that ball away.
I would have dealt with it. The ball was down there already. I will. I know.
Charlie Shield making sure Frank Murphy knows all about it. Edinburgh need a good kick from Blair Kinghorn here as he really takes his time and lines it up.
I totally take your point. It's just the way it was directed at me, that's all. Fair enough? Yeah.
Safe but sure from Kinghorn, and it gives Edinburgh an excellent platform.
Here's a replay of the penalty, and you can just see Ruas. He was fine initially, but the way he just rolls, he was a little unfortunate, but it's a fair call. Big play coming up from Edinburgh.
Can they set up a grandstand finish? Godlin Masimla is on for the Stormers.
Stop line out over.
McBurney safe with his first throw.
Through the middle.
Shield now. Lang, Kinghorn, and the blitz defence causes all sorts of problems. Zas, though, will be gutted to have to come all the way back.
Yeah, it was scrappy from Edinburgh, wasn't it? That's what happens. The maul got set, it went infield, but it didn't really generate any forward momentum. When the maul's static or going backwards, you can see like Daimani was right through the middle of it. Just give those Stormers players an opportunity to get a little bit more organised. Edinburgh not off front football.
Let's get this right.
And it was a real blitz, wasn't it, from that Stormers backline. Made an absolute mess of that Edinburgh play. But it came off a blue hand. And it's still a good opportunity for Edinburgh. Midfield scrum, you can see the players stacked out the back of the scrum, being able to sweep either side.
Crouch!
Options galore here for Charlie Shield. Or perhaps Ben Muncaster, who's now at the back of that scrum. We've got the early engagement and the free kick, and here comes Kinghorn from deep. And now Mark Bennett, with what a turn of pace from Bennett. He's known for it throughout his career. Now Watson. He is downed. Shield will look for Schumann, who in turn thought about the pass on to Atalifo, who has now joined proceedings. Shield. Bernie hit hard. Edinburgh must score here to make a game of it late on. Schumann helped out by Muncaster. Gilchrist with the soft hands to get it on to Crosby. Atalifo now, he needs some help. He doesn't get it in time. That's a huge turnover for the Stormers. Could it be the one that wins them this quarter-final?
Oh, heartbreaking from Edinburgh. You could see it coming a mile away. Pick and jam, just went by himself. There was no support whatsoever. And the Stormers were all over the ball, man, poach position like they have been all day. As the order's being barked down. It was said that when that free kick was awarded, it was scintillating stuff down that short side. It was Blair Kinghorn. Put it in Mark Bennett's hands, a player who's got a great change of pace. We saw it there, he got through the line. It was a great cover tackle from Yanchis. And then when it slowed up, Edinburgh struggled to regenerate the momentum. It was just a pick and jam, completely isolated. Here you can see, just goes to the left by himself. And that's a fair call, holding the ball. Just again, like from 5-10 minutes ago, that blue player just arriving first. Those orange shirts are coming, and by God, they did arrive, but just too late.
And Namakaba with that huge turnover as Ernst van Rijn comes on, a man who was co-captain on their European tour. Brock Harris at the age of 37, the former Dragon, two-time Currie Cup winner, comes on to try and see this one out for the Stormers. Boffelli, solid once again under the high ball. He has impressed. Kinghorn, oh, that was a risky one. It's forward from Crosby, picked up by Van Rijn.
No.
Sinatla onto Brock Harris, who gets an early touch on the ball.
Advantage, no. Advantage over.
Now Gallant with the little chip through that causes chaos once again in the Edinburgh defence. Onto it was Zas. Follow-up comes from Ruiz. Yankees. Stormers looking to finish it here, but forward it goes.
Another unbelievable take in the air from Boffelli. Looks like he's probably going to be in the losing team tonight, but by God, he's played well. He's commanded the air. He's won so many balls. And then again, we've said it all night, when the ball comes loose, they look really, really dangerous. I think it was Helland just poked the ball through. Zas went after it. He was really, really brave. Managed to scoop it up. And then Ruiz, who's been absolutely everywhere as well tonight, gets down the blind side. It's the same names we keep mentioning, but they're that prominent in this Stormers attack. And just a mistake as the ball came back in field. There were 4.5 minutes left. It's looking very, very tough to come back and win this game from Edinburgh from here now.
Well, the scrum goes straight down. That'll be a penalty that can get them up the field, at least.
Collapsing. Just behind the 22 here.
Yeah, and you can see Blair Kinghorn rushing in. There's no time to waste. Got to get his side as far down the field as quickly as possible. It's been interesting just watching this, even the Stormers' tactic of play.
I don't want to talk about the decision.
Feel like they've kicked a lot of ball.
Whistle, do not continue scrummaging.
And then just force the opposition to overplay. And Edinburgh have been good. They haven't made a lot of mistakes. It's just a couple of times the Stormers' attacks been too lethal.
Edinburgh having to be creative, and then Lang finds Watson. That's a nice looping pass that now puts Boffelli through a gap. Was he held back? There are chasers, and it's brilliantly marked by Godlin Masimla.
That is absolutely fantastic backfield play. You know, the kick was a little high. You don't want the ball to be in the air for long, typically, but he covers so much ground, and he gets there. And if that we saw it with Roos's try, if the ball bounces, it can go anywhere. Look at this.
Well, Edinburgh have gone quickly. It's there with Muncaster, who's driven backwards by Ruan Nell. Another that's had a fine game. Schoeman, Kinghorn can't quite find the hands of Bennett, but does get picked up by Hoyland. Edinburgh in desperate territory now. Schoeman. Lang, that one's going to drift forward, surely. Well, Graham allowed to play on.
Release the ball.
But Edinburgh going backwards at the moment. They're looking for a miracle. Crosby. Ball is there for Charlie Shield, who's charged down, brilliantly read by Marvin Ori. It should be tapped down, or perhaps not, by Mark Bennett. He's not hanging about. He might need to go the whole length, though.
Thank you.
Here's Muncaster. Boffelli, now it goes forward. Edinburgh playing the high-risk rugby. And the Stormers starting now to look forward to the semi-final next week.
Yeah, and fair play to Edinburgh. They've given it absolutely everything this evening. Mark Bennett does so well. He's another Edinburgh player that's had a good game. He does so well to get back and pick that up. Didn't want to set it down and have the goal line drop, but he runs it out. He does so well. Beats a couple of players, offloads the ball, but you just feel like tonight, it's just the Stormers have just had that little bit of X factor. You see it here, the tries, line breaks, and they haven't created a lot. They've come from nothing. As we watch this back, Evan Roos, how well has he played? The thing about the Stormers attack, it's the same names over and over again. You know, Zas, Sinatla, Halant, Lebok, Roos. It's Daimani's been prominent, and it looks like we're set up for an absolute cracker next week. Of all the teams you mentioned earlier, Ulster, they ran the Stormers really, really close earlier in the season. We're really unfortunate not to get a win, and great performance from Edinburgh tonight. Just one step too far for them.
Evan Roos has been outstanding. That third try looks to be the one that has taken the Stormers through.
Bind! Set!
Final 90 seconds in Cape Town.
Use it!
Yankees and Halant. It comes back to Yankees, but there was advantage being played.
Let me be clear.
The whistle had
he
gone.
was not in control of the ball, and he knocked it on.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It was Helland. It was before this. I think Jancis does get the ball down here, but it was well done. No, he doesn't even. It's actually. But there's another one from Edinburgh. Luke Crosby's had a phenomenal game to being on the losing side. He's been absolutely everywhere on both sides of the ball. Just came down that blind side off that scrum, and Helland. It looked like he tried to use the footwork. It actually looked like he tried to poke the ball through, which is a really strange option. You think you just hold on to it and run out the clock, but no, that'd be too boring, wouldn't it? And it looked like he knocked it on for me, despite the protests of the Stormers players.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Scrum twisting round.
Can't play advantage, the scrum's gone round.
That might just do it for Frank Murphy, who has a quick check. The hooter sounds at DHL Stadium.
Yeah. I need balance.
We will have one final reset in Edinburgh's season. A season that saw them enter a new home ground in the Damhill Stadium, just in the shadows of BT Murrayfield. But it's the Stormers in their maiden URC season who will be going into the semi-finals to join their fellow countrymen, the Bulls.
Can we get it right, please?
To see if there will be one of the big South African franchises in the URC final.
Thank you.
And it was 4 home wins in the quarterfinals. Be interesting to see.
Crouch!
That continues.
Bind!
After today's results, it's going to be hard for anyone to win in Dublin against Leinster. And the Stormers, well, they've only lost 4 games this season, as we said at the top of the show. To give you context, Leinster have actually lost 5. And there goes the game.
The celebrations can start for the Stormers with the win of the penalty.
If you want the game to be over. Manny.
And Brock Harris
Manny.
at the heart of it.
You have to tap it.
They've got a decision whether they want to
if you want to finish,
bother going for the 4th try or not. Manny Lebok is making the decision for everyone else. And this one will be blasted high into the stands of DHL Stadium. Osieza is the Stormers' anthem. We're coming, and the Stormers are heading to the semi-finals to complete the lineup. The Bulls, Leinster, Ulster and the Stormers. That is the final 4 in the United Rugby Championship. And the Stormers, so good at home, it proved once again tonight. And Cape Town will host a semi-final. Ulster will come here next weekend for what is a mouth-watering semi-final. And there is the road to the grand final. Leinster will take on the Bulls in Dublin. And in Cape Town, it will be the Stormers against Ulster. No further Scottish involvement after Edinburgh. Follow the Glasgow Warriors out of the competition, but they made a fight of it in South